What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 6 of the Founder Academy. So, happy Friday. It's FUT Champs Day here. I actually haven't played too many FUT Champs games. I don't know why. It's actually been more variety than the division rivals. So, I've enjoyed playing FUT Champs when I try to remove the stress of FUT Champs out of it because I'm not super concerned with getting like elite or like top 100. So for me, I'm just actually enjoying playing FIFA the most there because there's variety in the teams. Division rivals that you guys are going to see in the next couple episodes that are coming up, it's just literally the same play over and over and over. And during the week, you just want to like rip your eyes and ears off so you don't have to worry about like looking at it and seeing it. It's just very frustrating. But anyway, you guys aren't here to listen to me complain about it. You're here to see some FIFA. So what you guys are seeing here is we changed the team around a little bit. Big surprise. The team is actually going to change over the next couple episodes. So don't get too attached to some of these cards because they are going to change out of the squad. We picked up Robert Lewandowski. In this episode, I'm still playing in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. We end up changing it, spoiler alert, we end up changing it for future episodes to a 4-2-3-1. But the 4-1-2-1-2 was just one that I was so comfortable with. I'd been playing it all year. And again, don't want to ruin the surprise for future episodes, but we do end up having to change the formation just because 4-1-2-1-2 isn't meta. Again, I am using it in this. You are going to see me playing it. The reason we picked up Lewandowski is I needed a strike partner for Messi. I was using Ansu Fati up there at first, but Ansu Fati's just not the guy, guys. Like, I hate using wingers in general, but we have to have him in there just because of Messi. It's caused me like a lot of restlessness about the team because I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I want Ansu Fati in there, but like Messi, I hate the fact that he's a winger, and it isn't the team. Like, I don't look at it and just go, that's my end game team. I just don't look at it. I love that Lewandowski card. He was fine in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, but again, 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, just not meta. I was getting attacked on the side. Everyone plays the same way in divisions. They just literally like sit back, let the computer defend. They take the ball, get it to the wing as quickly as possible, play it back and forth between their winger and their wing back, and then they dump the ball in behind your wing back. Once they get to the final third, they stop, they cut the ball in, then they play it around the triangle at the top of the box, back and forth, side to side, side to side, wait for the striker to get isolated, play it into the striker, and then they pick one side or another and then shoot near post. Literally, that's the entire game. I just described an entire division rivals run for you in one simple, less than a minute, I guess I would say there. So that's literally been my experience since I've been in Division 4. So these first couple games are in Division 5. You guys also saw me add in Alphonso Davies there, add in the Canadian contingent here. So proud Canadian here, getting him into the squad. I know that he's been somebody that a lot of people were really eager to get. His price he was extinct for a little while. He was like 550, and I didn't really have that much intention on wanting to get him, but the more I looked at him, the more I was like, I gotta get a Canadian in there. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a Canadian team of the season, and if there has, he's been like a silver or something, like Scott Arfield or somebody like that. But it's just one of those guys that when I saw his stats, I was like, a Canadian that's meta, like, yeah, I gotta get this guy into the squad. So we ended up putting him in there and start using him. So this is our first game that we came up against. This opponent was actually quite good. We did end up scoring in the 10th minute there, Robert Lewandowski. Lewandowski is one of those guys that's really unique. So again, not to spoil this, but he wasn't the guy for me when we went to a 4-2-3-1. He's a great goal scorer when the ball's on his foot. I haven't used his team of the season. He's just way too overpriced at $3 million. But this version for 200k, very, very good card, but I wouldn't say that he's meta, but if you are not playing in super competitive divisions, if you're playing in lower divisions, or even if you're just looking to get a couple wins in FUT Champs, he's very usable. He's not agile enough for me. I'm at that point where I've got enough coins that I really need a super agile player that has got really good pace. He's just lacking just a little bit enough. That he's not the card for me as a solo striker. He's got the skill set for the most part, but he's just kind of around that cusp, that version that I'm talking about. Maybe the headliners you can use, the team of the season almost certainly you can use, but again, 3 million or 2.8 or whatever that team of the season is going for, just not not worth the coins. You can basically get team of the season Messi for almost that. So as we go into the first half, we're up 1-0. I bottled that chance right at the end of the first half. That killed me. That's very unlike me. I usually don't do that. I don't know how that happened. It was just very, very unorthodox of me to do that. I I was thinking about ball rolling. I was thinking about fake shotting. All I literally had to do was slow down, literally sprint into space, and I could have rounded his keeper. I had so much time, but I just was, I don't know if I was overthinking it, and I literally ran into his keeper. I was just furious at myself. But anyways, the second half came along. This guy changed his tactics, and you could tell that his team was just team pressed. They were ultra aggressive. They were ultra aggressive. They were ultra attacking. As you can see how high he was playing there, even though that was off a corner. But his team just became monstrous, and this has been a huge issue for me. Not in the sense that like I can't handle it. It's just I've hated this for years. That custom tactics or like tactic abuse just makes your team dumb. Like, for lack of a better term. Like, I get that it should help his team, but it just affects your team too much. Like, look at these players. Like, I can't go into tackles. Like, Sergio Ramos and Boateng, it makes me look like my defending's quite poor. But the problem is it's pulling your players away, like, off the ball. They're just doing dumb things. So, like, I literally had to go into a 4-5-1 because I couldn't defend this guy. And it was no offense to this guy. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just playing to win. But it just drove me absolutely crazy because my team fell through the floor. I was playing fine. My team was playing okay. But when he changed his tactics, my team couldn't make passes. They were running away. They were just doing dumb things. But the biggest thing is defensively, they weren't locking in. The guys would do this. They were like overcompensating one way or another. They were taking just heavier touches. And I just hate it. I hate that stuff has to happen because then, there, you see, I had to go into a 4-1-2 or a 4-5-1 just to basically hold on. And I don't want to play that. I don't want to play defensive and just try to grind out a win. The other thing with that is guys will just send you hate. You know, I bounced down to Div 4 because I think I ended up losing some games in Division, or bounced down to Division 5 because I lost a couple games in Division 4. And, you know, I don't want to be doing that in Division 5. I just want to play attacking. I want, you know, back and forth. And this FIFA just doesn't have that. It's, you know, it sounds like just sour grapes. I won the game and I just wasn't even happy with, you know, how the gameplay went. It was just very frustrating. But whatever. I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy here. Like, let's just get into this. It's not that serious, guys. At the end of the day, it's just a video game. So you guys are playing this to have fun, and that's the mentality that I have to keep with this. So we come up against this second opponent. This guy had a very interesting team. He had some Brazilian striker that I wasn't familiar with playing up top. The guy was a real beast up top, but he kept trying to force the ball into Socrates. This guy was another guy just kind of, you know, patient, playing that triangle at the top. Very annoying to play against. It's just the same guy over and over and over. But, you know, I think he got really confident in his own abilities off the jump, and we ended up hitting him on the counter. He pulled Sol Campbell. As soon as I saw Sol Campbell make that move, I was like, oh, you're dead. As soon as Messi gets it onto his foot, he scores that goal. And that's where Messi, even being 4-star, when you get the ball on his left foot, he finds a way to put it into the net. Like, he just scores goals. He would be really hard to get rid of. So the team of the season, Serie A, came out today, and I was like really interested in Dybala. I think he's just going to be way overpriced because there's a lot of Dybala fans for his stats. I would love to be able to get him and Maradona and Aguero and like Messi even into a squad. That would be like my dream, but I just don't know if I can. Anyway, I don't want to get, you know, into like hypotheticals. That would be my dream attack, but getting that Argentina triangle there up top. But again, it would require Messi being like a central card, and I don't want to go back to that 97 after using this one. This one is just so good. So we are up 1-0 as we head into the end of the first half. I thought I had a second one here. That touch from, I believe that might have been Saul, but like I just don't know what he was doing. It was such a heavy touch. I was panicking a little bit because this guy actually had some opportunities here. He was getting the ball onto, you know, Socrates or whoever's, you know, right foot, left foot. He was getting kind of some interesting angles, but that Ter Stegen, man, he's the best keeper I've used all year. And I love saying that because honestly, guys, I have not been able to say that about any keepers. Like, I feel like no keepers have bailed me out at all during like this entire season. Like, Ederson, I was just like, oh, keepers just do that. They just let goals in. Ederson, I didn't realize how bad he was. He's not terrible. You can use him, but he's definitely not meta. To use one of these team of the season keepers, even like the Allison, like I've never used Allison, but when I've played against guys like Allison, these guys are bailing them out. Like Ter Stegen does not get beat unless the shot is really, really good. It requires something special to beat him, and it's just so nice to have that because I just need a keeper that can just make the saves that are even half chances. If I let a guy in, he's got a good angle, he's right through on goal. Sure, I don't expect him to bail me out. If he does, great, but I don't expect that. All I want is like when a guy's just cutting back and forth or he takes a shot, if it goes through Sergio Ramos's legs or Boateng slides and it does something stupid, I want the keeper to be able to make that stop. I don't want him to like allow really dumb opportunities, and they do a lot, but this Ter Stegen just stops everything. So anyway, back to the gameplay. Robert Lewandowski ends up getting this third here. So that was one of the things that I've integrated into my game quite a bit is the little double tap. So the double tap right here, that eats his defender, right? So try not to use it too much in the final third. It's really useful when you're kind of in that middle third of the field and you need to get the ball bypassed, a wall of midfielders. It just kind of skips. So one of the things that I've learned about using it is like I was starting to abuse it too much, even just the regular pass. When I was doing it too close, it was lofting the ball up to the player and they're having to chest the ball back down, and it slows the momentum of your attack. So just a little side note there that if you are going to use it on longer passes where you actually need to effectively like bypass somebody. Don't just use it in tight areas because it is going to slow your attack down. The defenders are going to be able to read it. They're going to jump in and take the ball as soon as you get the ball down on his feet. So it's something that can be detrimental if you don't use it properly. But we do end up coming away with the win there. 1-0 and 3-0. I'm happy with that. Division 5, we just continue to roll through Division 5. It used to be a division that when I would kind of bounce down to, it would cause me some issues. I'd win some games. Now I'm pretty consistently getting out of Division 5. I don't tend to go down there. If anything, now I'm kind of consistently a Division 4 player, so I feel myself improving. My gameplay is starting to adapt a little bit. Probably a little bit too late. But better late than never for me, because like I said at the start of this series, guys, I didn't start really playing online FIFA till about February or something along those lines. So for me, I was really behind the 8 ball when I started playing. And when I did start playing you do your division rivals, your 5 entry games. I just got dumped into Division 7, and I thought, this is really easy. I can roll through these guys. Once I got to Division 5, that's where I started having to kind of tweak my game a little bit. Then once I got to Division 4, I was like, this is a whole new world of tactic abuse. So I've had to adapt the way I play. The formation, the players in what positions they are, the custom tactics, the player instructions. I've had to really change a lot of that to adapt to Division 4, because Division 5 you can get away with being a little bit lazy on that stuff, but once you get into Division 4, it's a whole new world. And I can only imagine 3, 2, and 1 are just that much spammier. There's just like insane players in Division 1 from what I've seen. So like I don't envision, to be honest with you, probably myself ever going to Division 1, and if I am, I won't have a very good time. I won't be enjoying it. FIFA hasn't really been that enjoyable in division rivals. It's just you literally are playing someone who's your equivalent, so it's like you're playing yourself every game, so it can just be really, really mind-numbing. So as we jump back to the video here, because I was going off on a little bit of a tangent, we did open a couple packs here. The reason I put this stuff in there is just so you guys can kind of see kind of the flow of the coins. In some of the later stuff that I've been recording, I've been doing a lot of grinding on like League SBCs. I'm not including all that stuff because, to be honest with you, it's just not stuff that I want to include in the video. You guys tell me if you want more menu stuff, but to be honest with you guys, I find menu grinding very boring to watch. I don't like watching streamers do it. Streamers generally try to open up like 10,000 packs, or they'll do like a whole bunch of icon SBCs and do kind of like novelty stuff. I just don't want these videos to be part of that. I want to show the progress of my team on the field. So even though FIFA, the actual gameplay, is the most stressful part of the game, and I spend a lot of time in the menus, I want this to be most of the video so you guys can kind of see my team evolve and see how I play. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing with it. even though I think this game's become a card collecting game, I don't want my videos to become a card collecting game. But I'm also open for whatever you guys want to see. So we'll include a couple SBCs so you guys can see them if I pack anything big. But I just decided to keep all like regular gold packs and, you know, 2-player ones that don't mean anything out of those videos. So the coin balance, you're not going to see literally every coin change, but every major transaction where you're going to see big changes to the club, I'll include that stuff in there. So as we head into the third game here, again, this guy using Marcus Rashford out of position, very odd. I don't know why guys do that. I think you're leaving stats on the table when you do that, but I you know, teach their own. He had Marcus Rashford. He also had the middle Eusebio, which is a very deadly card. So I thought this guy was going to be a very good player, and he had team of the season, Heung-min Son. We ended up scoring very early against this guy. He had a offside trap on, which was very bizarre. I don't come up against that, or very often, but when I do, it's usually something that I can abuse. I don't think the offside trap is very effective this year. Just because guys are so patient, they don't tend to rush. You've had to learn to slow down. So when guys just rush forward, I literally just saw that and I just bombed forward. I played into that low-driven cross, and Toni Kroos got his first goal for the club. Then we ended up getting a second because I think what happened is after I scored, this guy thought, like, I could just see it in the way he was playing. He's like, I'm better than this guy. I need to rush and get that goal back because this guy's not as good as me. That's what this guy was thinking. So he started making mistakes in his back line. Robert Lewandowski's second and third goals were just caused by mistakes. He was just so flustered. I don't know if it was because the offside trap was a mistake or an accident or he just got burned, but you could tell the way this guy was playing. He was just trying to get the ball forward, and he just made mistakes, and I ended up making him pay. In Division 4, not just me, but like almost anyone in Division 4, if you start making mistakes in the back line, you're going to get burned, and this guy did get burned. Like, you can't afford to be just rushing passes forward without taking, like, look at them, they're very high risk passes, but you know, he was just flustered, and you could tell he was just playing a lot more panicky. But what he did do was he changed his tactics. You could tell that he must have turned on like team press, and his team got a lot more attacking. He just changed it to an attacking formation, and then he ends up doing this because look at the defending there, right? Like Sergio Ramos just does one of these. He just watches the roulette, and he just watches him go right by. And that type of stuff, when I feel that happening, I just go, well, I need to change something here. I've said for a very long time, my belief is, you know, again, not to sound too conspiracy theorist here, but 3-goal leads are the worst you can possibly have. And the reason for that is, especially if you score too many goals too early, the way the gameplay works is the sliders will, like, it'll nerf you a little bit because they don't want you scoring 5, 6, 7, 8 goals against a guy and him just getting frustrated. They want competitive games. They want close games where people feel like, hey, I can play the full 90 minutes, I can get back into this. Because in early iterations of FIFA, when that used to happen, guys would still score 4, 5, 6 goals, and then people would just quit. So in this, it slows you down a little bit. So when he came forward with that opportunity against Eusebio, I could feel my team. They just weren't locking in again. They started kind of dropping through the floor. And when I start feeling that happen, I just go into defensive mode and start slowing my game down, really frustrating him and playing, like, I don't want to say annoying FIFA, but it's annoying to me to have to play it. You just have to, like, really slow down, play the smart pass, turn, kind of cut back, play these smart balls. Don't rush anything. And I know that you realistically should be doing that. You shouldn't be kind of like rushing shots and rushing passes, but it's just boring, you know? Like, everybody does that. They hold 1,000,000% possession. It's one of the things in my game that I've noticed that I don't do. I don't play enough possession because even though in previous FIFAs I always viewed myself as like the possession guy and other people would get the ball from me, when I started really looking at my stats this year, I don't think I've held a lot of possession. I've been really quick to get the ball forward and trying to score goals and catch guys before they let their defense set. But it's giving the ball away too much, and especially against these like better quality players later on in FIFA with these jacked up teams that all play sit back and let the computer defend, you cannot rush against them. The computer will just take the ball from you and you'll get countered. So anyway, that's the end of the gameplay here. We end up winning all 3 games, 1-0, 3-0, 3-1. That third opponent was quite good. They were all decent opponents. You're not going to get anybody bad, but we were fortunate we were able to grind away those results. So that is going to be the end of the gameplay. We do have an SBC at the end here where we do pack a team of the season, but before we jump into that, I just want to thank you guys for watching the video. Please leave a like down below, and if you aren't already, please hit follow on the channel. Your support's greatly appreciated. These videos take quite a while to edit, so it means a lot to me that you guys are supporting the channel and watching these videos. My computer there, what's happening there? So as we go into it, we did do this Bundesliga challenge. I thought this was a Bundesliga player. They've been releasing them every day for the Bundesliga, where it had a different name: Bundesliga Challenge, Bundesliga Squad Challenge, Bundesliga Premium Pack, or whatever. I didn't realize that it wasn't giving you a Bundesliga player. I probably realistically wouldn't have done it. It just gives you 283s. But when I saw this flare, I thought, oh, I'm going to get one of the Bundesliga team of the seasons. And then I saw Morocco center mid, and I was so confused. And then I saw this card come up, and I was like, Adel Tarapt. And I'm like, I didn't even know he was in team of the season. I didn't realize the Liga NOS even had that player in there. But we will talk about him more in the next episode. I got a funny story for you guys. So until next time, guys, take care. Peace.